Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Pete.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, come up to the front of the class, up to the chalkboard. No, I have a question.
He's gonna get it.
I have a question for you. I'm going to say a word, and I want you just to tell me what comes with it. It doesn't have to be one word.
Mm-hmm.
Just your. It can be however you'd like to describe it. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Thursday.
Ugh. I'm immediately going to Thanksgiving.
Okay, all right. Tommy, for you, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yes.
He said, "Shut up." He said, "Shut up."
Oh my God. That's great. Voices carry. Nice. All right. Well, hang on. All right. Pete, Sunday.
See, Sunday's interesting because, and like Thursday's one of the best days if you're just looking at the day. I thought you were making a holiday reference, but Sunday's the day, like, it's nice because you have the day off, but the whole time you're kind of dreading, oh, tomorrow I've got to go back to work.
Yeah, it's
Right.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
So
It's
that
always
we
just
were
hanging out. It's like Damocles' sword. It's
So
just,
you were using my Thursday. You were thinking very locally because obviously it's Thanksgiving this week.
which
So
is,
you're thinking,
yeah, it just passed.
yeah.
For the people listening, yeah.
Yeah.
But now let's revisit Thursday as a regular day.
Yeah, Thursday's a regular day is great because the week's almost over. You can feel like you can breathe a little bit.
I feel like it's a secret passage between Wednesday and fun time, the weekend.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right. So what about if I say Wednesday, Tommy?
Wednesday's all right. Wednesday's like, oh, the week's been going on for a while now. We've already gotten to Wednesday. Okay. And, it's sort of like, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're making it sound like weeks are just nightmares, but all right.
Well, this is what got me thinking about, especially, during this, pandemic season, which apparently is a year. Not that type of season. I thought, so what is your relationship to each day? And I thought, okay, we all kind of, maybe wherever you are in your life, you're like, oh, I can't tell Wednesday from Friday or Sunday from
Right.
Tuesday. They're all blending together, especially maybe if you work from home or something. And I started really thinking about it. And you're like, but there is an intimate relationship with each day. You spend a full 24 hours with that day.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean,
And
Be careful what you're doing with that day, Jared. This is a family podcast.
yeah, really.
No, I just
Too
I
chummy.
thought about it. Each one feels emotionally different for me.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
that's why I woke
Yeah.
up and it's kind of, I look around like, oh, what is today? And then if it's Thursday, I'm like, oh, I really like Thursday. And then you're like,
Yeah.
if it's like Tuesday, you're like, Tuesday's a punisher.
Here's a question though: is Monday ever as bad as the dread of Sunday night? Like, is the dread on Sunday night worse than the actual day on Monday?
Oh, yeah. I find that's true in general. I think the dread is
Yeah.
always worse than the actual thing you're
Yeah.
dreading.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, 'cause
man,
you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Monday. Like I've had 2 days of not dealing with like that
Yeah.
part of my life, oh my God. And it's not a nightmare, but I just don't want to. And then you get there and you're like, all right, I got my
Yeah,
coffee, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
Big
it
deal.
is. It's. I think Sunday night is one of the saddest times.
Yeah. I agree. It's like
And-
like the end. It's like the middle of August. It's like, oh, I'm about to go back to
Yeah.
school. Like, I'm still on vacation, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it because I'm just thinking about going back to school.
And you would think that Monday would be worse, but for some reason, Sunday is like you're looking over the precipice
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
a pit of despair, where Monday is like you're just falling
You just
Yeah.
Well,
did it.
yeah, you've already
Yeah.
fallen off the cliff, and you go, well, I guess I'll figure it out. Let's see if this parachute works.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
I'm a catastrophizer, so I'm always
Are
imagining
you?
every possible worst case scenario. So Sunday is always the worst, like Sunday evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I feel like Sunday night does have like there's always there's like movies of the week or something like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
if you're a sports fan, Sunday is chock full of all sorts of well, if you're from Cleveland, it's like more and more despair. It's like we lost to the Bengals again by a safety. But that was just I don't know. It's what I was thinking this week. What's fascinating is this pandemic season it's kind of taken the days away
A little bit in
a
some
little
ways.
bit. Yeah, in some ways.
Yeah, although I've heard people describe it like this, and for me, this is very true. Like it used to be, oh, I'm working from home, but now it's I'm living from work.
See, I hear people say that, and I've done everything mentally I can to keep that
That's
from
good.
being the case.
I've had a
Yeah.
harder
So
time doing
what do
that.
you do?
I just mentally I just draw a real deep line in the sand. Like, I have my hours, and like the second I'm Fred Flintstone, not sliding down a dinosaur, but I just take the top of my laptop and shut it and go. I mutter yabba dabba doo to myself.
You got like the bird
like,
that
that's it.
punches out on the time clock.
Right? Yeah. My laptop is that bird. I just kind of stick the card in the laptop and close it on it.
Wait a minute. Do you remember that noise he would make when he would go bowling with like a circular rock? And he always said he'd do the run and then he'd do the tiptoe thing.
On the tiptoes,
Yeah,
yeah.
what's the noise? Do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
It's actually really funny. Well,
But this is that
clearly,
weird
yes.
thing where like we like sitting here now, Thanksgiving is coming up, but everyone listening, we already had Thanksgiving. And so Pete, I hope that as people are listening to this, you had a pleasant Thanksgiving, because it sounds like you're not looking forward to it.
Like, I know I always hate Thanksgiving, but this year's gonna be
Okay.
maybe interesting. We're making we haven't had a hamburger since March, like back when the
Oh.
lockdown started.
wow.
So we're making good old American hamburgers for Thanksgiving.
Oh, beautiful.
That's nice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Thanksgivings was Pete when you and I went to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think I think it was maybe it may have been the first Thanksgiving that I was in California, and we just we just drove to.
That was
Las Vegas.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was
Yeah.
very non-traditional.
Yeah.
I think we had California Pizza Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Delicious.
I'm about to make my first turkey ever.
Wow.
I've never done that on my own. It was funny. I was on the phone with the lady at the local thing. I'm like, I'd like to order a turkey, please. She's like, okay, we've only got these left. Or like they're huge. Well, oh, okay, that's more than I wanted, but okay, I'll do it. And she's like, yeah, this is like we thought this was going to be kind of a dud Thanksgiving, but it's been our busiest ever. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Like everybody needs a turkey. It's not like, oh, we're all going to grandma's house. So like that accounts for like 3 nuclear families or something around one turkey. It's like every nuclear family needs a turkey now.
But is everyone
Every
going to make
household.
I'm surprised everyone's not making like a Cornish game hen.
You're right. Yeah. Just keep it simple.
Or yeah, small.
But yeah, since I had to get a massive turkey, I'm like, okay, I'll make a proportionate amount of mashed potatoes and cranberries and stuffing and everything, and we'll just because when I go to my parents' house, like, hey, the leftovers is gonna be great, and like there's like 10 people there, so the leftovers last like an afternoon, and that's it. But I'm counting on it lasting us a week, and it's gonna be fantastic. So there, yeah,
Nice.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, we want to give thanks to these nice people listening to us right now.
Absolutely.
The beautiful Patreons who are helping us over at Patreon and keeping the show going. They are wonderful people, and they have names like 2-1 Beckett.
Hey.
Thank
Yay.
you, 2-1 Beckett. Thank you, Andrew, with 2 A's, and Temba, their arms open. See, that's a beautiful thing, a beautiful image for Thanksgiving. People coming together virtually or otherwise. It's gorgeous. We want to thank ABCDTOM. That's me.
Hey.
Over at ABCDTOS. Gosh, that's a good show. If you guys listen to that show, be honest. You don't have to. But it's really good. It's me and Pete the Retailer and John Engel and Joe Mazel, and we're talking alphabetically through every episode
That's
of
an
the
all-star
original
cast.
series of Star Trek. Wait, what?
That's an all-star cast for sure.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
absolutely-
it's ridiculous. It's a murderer's row of nerds
And
talking about Star Trek.
every one of you has been on Indiana Jones Minute.
That's true. That is actually really true. Yeah, I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
You guys must be sick of me. We also want to thank Airport Wonders. What time is bedtime and what time is wake up time? Now, is he asking for us to tell him when he needs to go to bed and when he should get up?
Yes.
Or is
I
he
think
curious
so.
about when we go to bed and get up?
This sounds like a riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I got it. Bedtime is when you go to bed.
Well, I go to sleep around 2 a.m.
What?
hmm
and I wake up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's earlier than I would have thought.
I know. That's
actually.
Oh.
much earlier than you
Well,
used to.
sometimes it's like, 2, but sometimes it's 3. I'd say anywhere between 1 and 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
And then
okay.
I wake up anywhere between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m.
Yeah, you always used to have a rule. Like I was never allowed to call or text you before 11 a.m.
It's pretty much still the rule.
It is. But I'll like text when I'm up in the morning and I'm like, oh, Jerry's not going to. Oh, there he goes. Look at that. He's.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I do frequently wake up
I made him
around
roll over.
5 or 6 a.m.
Mhm.
and but there's like it's like a rest period from all that sleeping.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
check the news or I'll weigh in on a few things or something. That's
Mhm.
usually I'll read whatever. I'll read your messages there, Tommy, and then I roll back over. It's kind of like
There
a
you go.
halftime.
That sounds kind of nice.
See, for me, it's like I was rapidly geriatricizing when I was going into work. Like, because I
Oh.
would get into work really early, so I would, I'd wake up at like 5:30, so I'd go to bed at like 9 or something, and 9:30.
hmm
And now that I, can wake up and roll out of bed into the office, like it's kind of like midnight to 8,
Oh wow.
7:30.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've noticed. I get texts from you like around 10:35 p.m. and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Peter, you must have snorted a mountain of blow."
Yeah, I'm still more. I'm kind of on the same schedule I ever was. I go to bed around 10:30 or 11, and then I get up at like I don't know 6:30 ish. And I don't really need to, except I kind of like, oh, this is my now that I cannot escape the people I live with in my house. This is like my hour or so of just alone time, which is kind of nice,
Yeah.
Sure.
and they don't begrudge me that at all.
Mine,
have to make sure that
I do that.
Kid of mine
Mine
gets out of bed.
is lunch. Like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, I get up and then I kind of answer everything and kind of do. Yeah, that's my hour of alone time. One of
Mhm.
them at least is it's either in the evenings, like at from 10 or 10:30 on, or it's like from 11:30 to 1 or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you
If you-
keep people away from you? Or do you
yeah,
go
you
somewhere?
have to. No, I go somewhere. I always go
Okay,
get a
there you go.
burrito. I get a
Alright.
burrito pretty much pickup from the
Yeah.
same place, and then I
Mhm.
will sit on a nice, lovely tree-lined street.
Lovely.
In my car or on the curb and collect my thoughts.
I think though Jim should go to bed at let's say 10. He can read once he gets to bed. He could read for like
Yeah.
another half hour or something, and then he goes night night. And then I'll
Just
say
don't read
get
on
up
your
at
phone,
like
Jim.
no, that'll mess you up.
Yeah.
Then you'll be wide awake. Read a nice paperback or something. Oh my gosh, you guys, you're not going to care as much, but I'm so excited. My son is a really good reader. He's like he'll just like read what he wants to read and stuff. He tends to only read like Star Wars comic books or just like weird like fiction, like nonfiction, just like books about dogs or something, or books about weird facts or something. And he never listens to me about any. He's at the age now that I was when I started like reading like Stephen King and Kurt Vonnegut and stuff. I'm like trying to like nudge this stuff to him, and of course he's rejecting it. And 2 nights ago, out of nowhere, he started reading Dune. I'm like, oh, my
Wow.
son, I
Wow.
love you so much.
Wow.
I mean, I loved you before, but now this is nice. This is why I had kids. So yeah, it's exciting.
Nice. Oh, speaking
where
of
that
books,
goes.
there's a weird one. Ready Player 2 is coming out.
All right.
in a
You
week
told
or
me
two.
about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was on the radar, but
No, me neither. That's cool.
I'm
I'd read
curious
that.
what'll be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Maybe that'll be a movie someday we can talk about. We also want to thank Brady. And we want to thank Brent from the even more wretched hive of scum and villain.
Sure is.
And we want to thank Brian and Carson and Chewy has a barrow in the marketplace. Mala is the singer in a band. And we want to thank Chewy says, I'd rather be in outer space, and then he finds some work in smuggling contraband. Oh, Chewy says, I'd rather be in outer space, and then he finds some work in smuggling contraband. That was nice. Well
Yeah.
done, Ken.
Well, by the way,
That's
this is Chewy has a barrel in the marketplace is week to shine.
Oh, why? What do you mean? Oh, you're right. Of course.
Absolutely.
Do we even? I mean, they've probably seen the title of the episode and stuff, but yeah, you're about to hear us talk about the jewel in the crown of the Star Wars firmament, the Star Wars Holiday Special from 1978, and yeah, lots of Chewie, lots of Mala,
Mhm.
lots of barrows,
Mhm.
lots of bands. Oh my god! All right. We also want to thank Chris. Go Indiana Jones Minute.
Hey.
Hey,
Even
thank
after
you.
we just said what we did, he's still behind us. We should still be doing what we're
And
doing,
he
even
is-
though we're
he's-
doing the holiday special.
Been the most patient pusher of us doing Casablanca at some point. Anything goes.
That's true.
which I would love to do.
That's not a bad
I
idea.
would like to do that because I don't think I've seen it.
hmm
Or if I did, I was like 9.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird seeing movies that everyone has told you is like the best in the world or a classic in some way, and then you have to like watch it, like just
Yeah.
like new. Be like,
Yeah.
okay. Like we just watched Die Hard with my son.
Mm.
I'm like, can you see why that's a classic? He's like, yeah. I mean, he liked it. He thought it was a good movie, but it's probably not like, oh, I see. The scales
Right,
have fallen
right,
from
right.
my eyes.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
funny because Professor Christy Porter just watched Network.
Oh my
wow.
God. Really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my
Maybe
gosh.
my favorite non-Star Wars movie.
Yeah, what do you think about that? And she was like, yeah, no, it was well done. And I'm like, wait a minute, get back
hang
here.
Yeah, sit
I'm like,
down.
I'm like,
That's-
watch
that's
it
the
again.
most Jerry Porter response I've ever heard. Yeah, I mean, it was well done. It was.
Yeah,
I can see why people might like it.
well written.
Yeah, I guess. It's got a good
Everyone did
title.
their parts good.
But she, yeah, I don't know. I think there was something she found profoundly disturbing about it.
Sure.
You don't say.
That's a
yeah.
natural reaction.
And so, but I think that was it. She's like, I don't know if I'd want to see it again.
Oh wow.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
can't stop watching it.
No, I
sometimes.
know. Me neither. I said, oh, you just wait.
That's one of the movies. That's one of like the 2 or 3 movies that makes me cry.
How about
Stop
this?
it. I don't want to talk about it.
Which do you like better, Network or A Face in the Crowd?
God, that's a great question. Probably Network.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Well, but what
but
part?
It's close.
What part do you cry in Network?
It's. I mean, it's hacky to say, but it's his mad as hell speech. But it's
Mm.
that one moment in the mad as hell speech where he's saying, like, you know, we know that everything sucks. We know that the food is not fit to eat and the air is not fit to breathe, and I don't know what to do about it.
I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
And I'm just that outburst of like just pure pent up fury and righteous indignation kind of gets me right in the gut. And I go, stop it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I now know the 2 times Tom has cried.
Yeah. Wait, what was the other one?
The
No,
holiday
well,
special.
Jody was complaining that you don't ever cry, but you cried like during the Rush induction to the Hall of Fame. Or
Oh, that's true. No, there are 3 times because that's absolutely one. God, I implore everybody to look up on YouTube Rush being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Anyone, at any time, the late, the great Donna Summer. And from Toronto,
the 2 or 3 minute outpouring of love for that band, those three nerds sitting there with their moms and wives or whatever, while everyone goes bananas just because somebody said Toronto. It's so gorgeous. But no, there's a third one. In The Incredibles, when
Of course.
when Elastigirl is on a jet with her kids and they're being chased by missiles and they're about to get killed.
Mayday, Mayday! India Gulf 909er is buddy spiked. Abort, abort! There are children aboard. Say again, there are children aboard this. No! Put a field around us now! I've never done one that big. Violet, do it now! Abort, abort, abort! Abort, abort, abort!
I promise you right now, I'm getting kind of hot in my face thinking about it. I don't know what it is. I've tried to study what exactly about that scene just kills me. And like my throat is like all the way in my, epiglottis. It's not going to be okay. Just an excellent scene in an excellent movie. All right. We also want to thank Cubs fan. And we also want to thank Dan. And, Darth Patreonus asks, we got this already. What's the better sequel? Empire, Madeline Kahn, Aliens, or Road Warrior?
Yeah.
You want to revisit this? Any?
I'm good with my previous.
Yeah,
thoughts.
they're all good. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I want to say Khan, even though Empire is the answer. I want to say
Yeah.
Khan. We want to thank Dave. And we want to
Hey.
thank Dave.
Yeah.
And we want to thank Death Star. We're gonna
Gonna
die
right now.
We want to thank Guy wearing headphones. We want to thank Doris. We want to thank Earth, Wind, Dew, and Fire.
That's
great.
hilarious.
Speaking of Earth, Wind, Dew, and Fire, and thinking about Eric, who we want to thank next. Eric, excuse me, requested a video of me playing September on Beat Saber on the Oculus.
Oh yeah,
And I will try to accommodate him, even though it's going to be embarrassing. I'm choking.
he's crying.
All right, I'm okay. Thank you. We also want to thank Fables of Falbus. I can't not read it that way. I'm sorry, Pete.
No, it's funny. I signed up for a jazz guitarist Patreon thing,
Oh, wow.
and he sent a little thank you video, and he was like, "Thank you, Fables."
And you wrote back, no, I'm being a goof on another show. Oh, never mind.
It's a jazz Patreon, so I'm sure he got the reference anyway.
Yeah. Daddy-o. We also want to thank Febo for Mando 8765. All the canon cartoons R1 solo. Are you
Wow.
offended by that, Pete? He's got R1 all the way at the bottom, just above solo.
No, I've for some reason people's opinions on things generally don't offend me, like about
Okay.
what things they like to watch. But
Mhm.
I'm curious if all the cartoons includes the Boba Fett cartoon
Oh, it
coming
better.
up in the holiday special.
Mm.
Yeah. Some of
God,
us think
how
that's
do
cool.
you get there? Just in life, how do you get there? No, people's opinions on things don't generally offend me.
Well, people's opinions on things might offend me, but like programmatic things that people enjoy watching for entertainment.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm
I
not,
feel like
I'm
you're
not a person that
weird.
gets angry if somebody, likes Lord of the Rings, or if somebody
weird.
doesn't like Star Wars. Or...
You're doing it wrong, Pete.
Yeah, you're just. What is it in Buddha? Is it the Arhat, where they you're like the saint that decides not to go over to Nirvana? You just sit at the fence and help and encourage,
Yeah.
lend a hand for the other people to pull them up over the fence into Nirvana. How do
Sucker.
yeah.
I obviously haven't done a good job so far of pulling others over into Nirvana.
Oh, man. Speaking of, we also want to thank Father David.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's
Speaking
over there
of,
pulling over people to
yeah,
Nirvana.
pull over
Yeah.
people to enlightenment and
Yeah.
better living.
We want to thank the fantastic George Leroy Tire Biter. Oh, no, that woman's trying to kill me.
I don't know.
You guys don't know what
I
I'm
don't-
talking about.
I don't have any idea.
4 people are laughing right now, or at least chuckling. Okay. We also want to thank Hillary. And we want to thank, I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back home. That's no need for alarm.
It is
I wanna
after
thank-
you watch the holiday special.
Yeah.
Oh God, it is.
That's the
there's some
craziest thing.
Yeah.
disturbing
Yeah.
implications. We want to thank Indy5. James Mangold has not yet accepted my LinkedIn request. LOL. One of these days you'll be LOLing all the way to the bank once he finally gets back in touch with you and you're on board. We want to thank It's Jonathan. And we want to thank Jasmine and Jay from Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. And we want to thank Jeff and John and Joshua and Exorable Tash and Kevin and Lori and Mark. And Mark Meeting You asks, what TV show has featured both a Star Wars actor and a Star Trek actor? Oh my God.
What TV show is fit?
I mean, there's got to be more than a couple, right?
Has the Love Boat?
Ooh.
I don't know.
I
don't
have,
know
I
a
have
Star
no
Wars actor in the Love
idea.
Boat, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind goes immediately to Columbo because it's got 3 Star Trek people on it. Probably more, many more actually, as we've been finding out. But I don't know if there's any Star Wars people on there. I don't know.
I don't know if TV shows that had a lot of Star Wars people in them.
I mean, Harrison Ford is on Love American Style. Mark Hamill was on Partridge Family.
Was he really?
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? You know what? I might have Amazing Stories.
Oh, sure.
Was
Oh,
there
I
a
bet
Star Trek
that's-
person in that?
There almost had to have
I
been.
was thinking that too. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there's things like that. Like, I don't know. Murder, She Wrote probably had a couple of people or something. Wow.
good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're all losers because we don't have immediate perfect answers for that. All right. We'll think about it. We're still stuffed with turkey and hamburgers. We can't be thinking clearly. Cut us a break. We want to thank Matt and Matthew and Michael and Mom to Remy and Drew and Muppet Christmas Carol by the song right now at nextscenepod.com. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's our buddy Sean and his brother Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you guys seen the Muppet Christmas Carol?
No.
It is so much better than it should be. It is such a good movie. It's maybe one of my favorite Christmas movies. And like within the last few years, it's become one of my favorite Christmas movies.
I
And
feel
one of
like
the
we
best
should
versions of A Christmas Carol, I think.
do the Muppet movie at some point on this podcast.
I love that movie.
Yeah, me
I'd
too.
do the Muppet movie. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
that-
Check out
yeah.
that podcast and check out that movie.
Yeah, that's got to be good.
We also want to thank Natalie and Natsuki Best Doki. And Neil asks, have you ever met one of your heroes in a 7-Eleven buying Slim Jims and some red wine and some microwave burritos? Have I met any? I feel like, see, you know what? I get questions like
feel-
this and I'm like, oh, of course I have.
I know that's
But I don't
exactly
know what
I'm
they
thinking.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, Neil
Like
mentioned
these-
this question like a week ago,
Oh, really?
and I was like, "Oh yeah, I know I have," but then I have never.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't think of it. So
Oh, I
don't know.
met Ray Bradbury at a book signing.
Oh,
that
Oh,
was
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
That is really
Nice.
cool, yeah. And I sat next to William Shatner on an airplane.
I remember that.
That's crazy.
Like
yeah.
like
He'd
across
fly
the
back
and
from
I
here.
was yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Like 2 years ago maybe. And
Yeah.
it was it was nuts.
How did you have whatever, like business class or something, or first class?
No, there was like through some weird thing we ended up in first class. And like that was already, fun for Sam. Oh my gosh, this is great. They take good care of you. And then I'm like, Sam, look, don't react. Don't say anything. But that's William Shatner over there. He's like, what? And he was really ashamed of me because I took a picture of him. My son was ashamed of me.
I could.
I'm
Well,
just ashamed of you that
surreptitiously
you
took a
didn't talk
picture.
to him.
I could. I was.
Yeah.
I sat there. I'm like, you know what? You know what I did? I tweeted to him while I was on the plane. I was like, I on his Twitter account. I was like, I'm sitting across the aisle from you on an airplane. I think you're awesome. I'm not going to bug you. Thanks for everything.
that's awesome.
Did he ever like the tweet or anything?
Wait, what?
Did he ever like the tweet or anything?
No, he actually didn't at all.
No, I'm sure he never.
But see, I bet he was sitting in his seat like, oh my God, that's Tom Taylor.
Son of a bitch.
I'm not going to
Indiana
talk to him.
Jones.
He doesn't want to be disturbed, probably.
Oh, come on. He
That's Tom
gets this.
Taylor.
I'm
Just
just
people
gonna
fawning over him all the time.
yeah, listen to Indiana Jones Minute and just leave him alone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard. I'm thinking. Well, Eddie Van Halen, obviously at 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
There's two drummers. So there's a drummer named Kurt Covington, who is one of my heroes. He's just an incredible drummer, and I met him when I first moved to Los Angeles, and he invited me over for like a barbecue after I met him. Yeah, and I wound up becoming pretty good friends with him. And that was great. That was amazing. Like
The main thing I know about Kurt Covington are the innovative ways he has of flipping people off, like reaching into his pocket and pulling out a middle finger.
Yeah. That's how I'd say hello to you. He'd be like, "Oh, hey man, you dropped something," and he'd pull out his.
Oh, my middle finger. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be lost without it.
So that would be an example. He was in that band Tribal Tech, if anybody likes, Tribal Tech. Also, there's another drummer named Toss Panos, and he's one of my favorite drummers. And same kind of thing. Saw him around L.A., knew a lot of people liked him. He's played in a lot of different, with a lot of great artists and stuff. And, I saw him. I'll never forget, I was playing a show, and I looked to my left once, and he was there at the show. Like right to the left of the stage. It's kind of one of those moments. One of our mutual friends, I put that guy on the guest list, and he brought Toss. And I was like, I was kind of like, oh my God, this is nuts. So I guess those would be the ones that come to mind. Kind of just like, you're a drummer, and other drummers that you idolize or look up to.
You know what this is making me realize is that, and maybe I'm just a broken human being, but I don't think I have heroes.
Oh wow. Oh, Pete.
Like I don't have someone that I'm like, oh my God, that guy's my hero, or that lady's my hero. I don't know if
But you have people you admire or something. You
Yeah.
know? Like if you saw Harrison Ford walking down the street, you'd be like, oh my God, that's Harrison Ford. That's the guy.
yeah.
No, it's true. But they're not like, all right. So I was at Paquita Mas, and I saw Forrest Whitaker.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, that guy's amazing. I admire Forrest Whitaker. And I admired him also because he was at Paquita Mas. I'm like, man, that guy's got great taste in tacos. But you're like, sometimes it's like, sometimes the Lord throws weird ones at you, kind of curveballs. You're like, yeah, I admire that guy. I mean, it's not like meeting a hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like
you
I've seen
admire,
a lot
you
of
know.
famous people, but it also is weird when you see, for me anyway, I mean, I never got the famous people gene, I think, but it's also weird because it really reinforces when you see someone famous that they're just like a person like you. They just happen to be better at this one aspect of life.
Right.
Well, my buddy was telling me 2 days ago that he was in the McDonald's in Hollywood, and he walked in, and there was David Lee Roth at McDonald's ordering with some bodyguards around him, and they were just at McDonald's. And then my buddy went up to McDonald's and like, for here to go, and he was like, oh no, for here. he was just hanging out at McDonald's, and there's David Lee Roth, and he said it was kind of crazy because David Lee Roth was so rock and roll, he didn't care. He even bussed his own tray.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he didn't. He was like, I was watching him like, how rock and roll is this going to get? He could have like one of 5 people, you know what I mean? Or he could like just jump up from the table and be like, wow, you know what I mean? And like, you're out of there. But he said, no, he actually bussed his own tray. And
But
he was like, that's so rock and roll.
Now all the kids there who are kids, the kids aren't going to care, but like anybody who saw him who knew he was like, wow, I guess it is rock and roll to tidy up after turn over a new leaf.
But to me, that's kind of what reinforces that. Like, I mean, if any of us suddenly became overnight world famous, we would still go sit down at the taqueria and then put our tray up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
I'd say,
developed
some of
It's
it
not
is-
as like
before fame
I just
kicked
feel
in.
like you're still the same. You're still just the same person. You just have a skill set.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's somebody who's grounded. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm not
That's
saying-
yeah,
I'm
you're
not saying-
grounded if you see yourself. I mean, that's sometimes.
No, but I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like, I feel like people are going to act sort of to their own nature,
Mhm.
like
That's- yeah.
regardless of whether they're famous or not.
Well, I mean, that's what's strange. Like when I was living in Cleveland, everybody was like, "Oh my God, do you see that? There's Bernie Kosar, the quarterback for the Browns." That's kind of what that was like. It was like the
Mhm.
celebrities were basically either a newscaster, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
or like the first baseman for the Cleveland Indians, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of how that is. But out here, it's like, oh no, it doesn't. I mean, I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio, I've seen Gwen Stefani, I mean, they're just everywhere. You just got to get used to it. Like I'm in a crosswalk with Gwen Stefani, or Cameron Diaz is just walking out of like a restaurant, and you're walking in. And I mean, it's just, it's almost like palm trees as part of the scenery, or like
Right.
Lamborghinis or something. I never saw a Lamborghini in Ohio.
Right.
There's
I
like
how you
3 of them.
pronounce that. It's like the way you pronounce Dagobah.
Oh, how do
Yeah,
you
that-
pronounce it?
You say
He did it
Dagobah,
twice.
and then you say Lamborghini.
Yeah, Lamborghini.
What
I
are
don't know.
they?
Lamborghini.
Lamborghinis. It's
I gotta
G-H-I-N-I.
look up the spelling.
Wait, what is it?
I'm
It's G-H-I-N-I. Guinea.
Lamborghini.
You're thinking
Get
of
back to Ohio,
Allegheny.
Jerry. What's the matter with
He's
you?
not.
Yeah,
He's
it's
thinking of
true.
like the Allegheny River.
It's true.
Yeah.
It rhymes with, like, that would be something like a nice
It
couplet.
doesn't rhyme.
If you can put Lamborghini with Allegheny.
Yeah. Wishing for it isn't going to make it so, Jerry. Lamborghini, something linguini or something. Do that instead. Okay, we also want to thank Nicholas. We want to thank none but unbelievable. And Orange B. Cooper and Patrick and Pella and Pork Snorter House and Raiders of the Lost Hatch. That's our buddy Steve. I feel like we had a nice, lively discussion, debate. Some flags were planted one side or the other of the debate, and I think we all maybe came together around our differences with the whole hatch thing. Maybe.
Yeah. I think one of the things is, Tommy, you suggested it. Like, why don't you do the opposite of what you're used to for a few
Mhm.
days? And I respected that, because you're like, get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walk around in my shoes while I'm peeing.
Right. It's a good exercise no matter what.
I
Yeah.
agree. Thank you, Jerry. Bringing people together. We also want to thank RuneBot, Techno Union Rep, and Sasha and Scott Roseanne. Hello, Scott. And Sean and Steve and Stina and Sully Baseball. And Tears for Veers and the Carlisles and the Wilder Ride and the Sack News and Tierney, aka One Steel Sister,
Hey.
and Tim and Timmy Bricks with a period.
Yes.
And Timmy Bricks must be excited because it's Lego season as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
Christmas season equals Lego season.
That's right.
And my Star Wars Advent calendar is in the mail. It will
Oh.
be here soon.
Well, the
Nice.
Lego holiday movie, right?
oh yeah. That
Yeah.
just came. We just watched that the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, are there references to the upcoming holiday special? we're
There
about to talk
are
about?
but they do not name them, but they keep referring to Chewie's family, who's going to show up for Life Day, and in walk his wife, son, and gross, gray, creepy dad.
Wow,
Yeah, they don't name them, but they are. It is Mala, Lumpy, and Itchy.
nice.
That is, yeah, I was impressed.
And they
That was
haven't
nice.
they haven't aged or grown. Apparently, I'm guessing.
No, they look like weird little Lego creatures. We want to thank Tom, and Trinko has been and always shall be your patron.
Oh, that's really
Beautiful. That's the fourth time I cry is when I read that.
nice.
And we want to thank Vibrant Visionaries with Heidi Bennett and Wendy, and when y'all nugless, I scratch my peep. And last but not least, Zaction.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zaction. Thank you, everybody. You're all nice people, and I hope you have or had or are having a beautiful Thanksgiving. I know it's weird this year. I hope you're finding ways to make it nice and homey, and that there's some sort of connection and togetherness, and that you're thankful for all the nice stuff.
Yeah.
Been through a lot.
Oh, and I have a question before we start our Journey Through the Life Day special, because we're not going to discuss it on there. But like in the sequels to Star Wars, is Lumpy a grown man, like a grown Wookiee?
Oh God. Oh, like in the sequel trilogy, you mean? Like
Yeah.
years and years later? Oh God, he might be.
Hmm.
Might be like, would he only be like if he's a kid in the special, is he like a gawky teenager like 40 years later or something?
Yeah, like do they,
He's got,
are they
like, a
like
gross
they
half
age like
mustache
Yoda
and
does?
stuff.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I don't want to find out.
No. Do you think he goes
Pete,
by?
you made our pre-discussion weirder than our actual discussion.
I know.
Well
And
done.
I interrupted your beautiful thoughts to everybody on the holiday season.
Do you,
and I'm
do you
sorry for
think
that.
now he goes by Lump?
Yeah. Dad,
I bet he goes by like LP or something.
80 years old. Just call me Lump.
Welcome back, everybody, and happy holidays, which for us this year means Happy Life Day.
Happy Life Day, everybody.
Oh, you guys are like family to me.
I'll give you a little chuck under the chin there.
So let me start this by saying, as you may have guessed, we are going to be discussing the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Hooray.
Since it's the holidays and everyone's feeling festive, at least until they listen to this. But I will say in advance, we are going to walk through the whole special somehow. So if you haven't watched it and you do not want spoilers, if they might exist, you may want to watch it before listening, or you may not want to watch it before listening.
And I pray that you're not looking at your podcatcher and this is like 4 hours long.
Yeah,
really,
I do too.
Really, nobody deserves that. We don't deserve that, but we'll see what happens.
But there are a couple of good options for watching. You can watch it on YouTube and make sure you watch the one with commercials, or perhaps a smarter option is you can actually just watch the commercials. There's a whole
now you tell
YouTube
me.
thing that's just the commercials from this. But we'll talk about both because I think the commercials are a big part of the charm.
Oh, definitely. They're the
But,
good part.
Yeah. But what's your experience with this? Do you guys remember when you saw it the first time?
I only kind of remember. I have like only 1 or 2 actual memories of seeing this. Like I
Mhm.
remember the phrase from the very beginning, and R2D2 as R2D2. That is in my head as like a clear memory of like, oh, I see what they did because he's a robot. Like,
Yeah.
even then, I think I knew there was a guy in there, but I was like, okay, R2D2 is R2D2. Okay.
Why didn't they have Kenny Baker?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's barely in it. I mean, R2's barely in it.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
might not need a Kenny Baker to go
Yeah.
back and forth and stuff.
Now, my experience with this, Tom, do you remember this?
What?
Do you remember my experience? My
Give
you
me
you
some
know
context.
you popped my holiday special cherry.
Aw.
You
What are friends for?
yes. You kept telling me oh my gosh, I have the Star Wars holiday special, and I got it on tape. Like, and it was the sort of thing I was like, what is he talking about? I don't really know what he's talking about, but he's keeping like it was a really big deal.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
must
It was
have
a
gotten
find.
it. It was because it was like a bootleg thing, and you must have gotten it from one of your, rich Connecticut friends.
Yeah. My connection.
yeah, exactly.
I think I have about 3 copies of this. I didn't even watch them. I watched it on YouTube like you guys, but I have I think I got one at like a Star Trek convention in the 90s or something. And my friend Jay Harrell gave me a DVD copy. Oh, and my friend Mark
Right.
Heidemann gave me another DVD copy. So I'm all set.
This was,
I'm loaded up.
I think I watched it maybe with a VHS. It was a big deal, and I was at your house.
Yeah.
We must have been,
30.
yeah, I was gonna say, maybe like 24 or
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you put it on, and you kept telling me it's nuts. You've got to see it. It's got this whole thing with B. Arthur, and it's crazy. It's one of the craziest things. And you're like, some of it's kind of goofy, but you got to check it out. It's really insane. And I remember watching it in your family room,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of felt a little sick,
Yeah.
and I didn't really know why we were celebrating this moment. It was a big deal because it was this, there was a cult like following, and it was this gem of a piece to get,
Yeah.
to acquire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand it. And I if I remember, I think we just watched maybe 15 or 20 minutes of it, and it didn't really, it didn't resonate with me.
It didn't draw you in. It didn't.
No.
That's really
I think we were maybe supposed to watch the whole thing, and you kind of gave up like in a flaccid
Yeah.
sort of, oh, well, we don't have to if you don't want to. And then we wound up, watching parts of it, and then we turned it
Yeah.
off, and we did something fun.
It's hard to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no surprise to
Yeah.
anybody. I'm not breaking any weird barriers. It's hard to watch.
No, I
Like,
think if something can be said to be objectively bad, I think this is. But I still love it anyway. In a really
See, that's the
weird way.
thing. I'm always defending it against my son. My son's like, I made him watch it one year, like maybe 4 years ago, and he's never forgiven me. And he's like, it's so bad. He'll just bring it up every once in a while. It's so bad. It's so stupid. Why do you like it? I'm like, I don't like it. I know it's bad, but it's great. It's a
Yeah.
cool thing. You don't get it, Sam. You weren't a kid then, and some of that is true. But then watching it for this. Like it took, we were like texting each other back and forth, like day 3, trying to watch this thing. I might make it. I don't know. Drinking my own urine. I'm going to be okay. It's
But see-
really hard. And it's
It
like,
is.
and I
It's
told
really
Sam the other
hard.
day, and I'm like, Sam, I hate it. You're right. It's awful. It's just awful. I'm like, I'm glad it exists. And I feel like I should defend it, but it's so awful.
Well, so one of the things that I was reading up on it a little bit, and they said like, well, yeah, it's notoriously terrible, la la la. But they said, but it does hold a special place in people's nostalgia heart.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't feel that because I didn't see this in 1978 or
okay.
whatever.
Well, see, I
But-
did.
The
Yeah.
commercials, yes, but
Yeah.
Right.
it's really, really brutal. And also
isn't-
it took me 3 days to watch this as well.
Yeah.
And what I came away with was, God, TV sucked.
That's the thing.
When
That's what I
we
keep
were
wondering, like,
younger, when
Yeah.
we were younger, and all the stuff we grew up, the 70s, the 80s, to stuff, like TV, television sucked.
that is not totally true. I mean, there's a lot of holes in your argument,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I kept thinking as I was watching this, like, okay, this was a kind of TV that was on that people
Yeah.
fully accepted and
Yes.
embraced.
Yeah.
Like, how is this show that we're watching different from like Donnie and Marie or like a
Right.
Bob
Yeah,
Hope
it's
special?
not,
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
But for
No,
me, it
it's
was
not.
a completely different thing. Like when I saw it when I was a kid, and I remember my parents like let me stay up to watch it because it was on kind of late. Like, I think it was like 8 to 10, and I was a tiny kid. And I had weird memories of it growing up, but I always sort of thought I was imagining them because I didn't know that it existed anymore. Like I'd forgotten that there was such a thing. And then when I heard
Oh,
about
wow.
it in the 90s, and I was like, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Because I a couple things just I remember, like I remember the tree house and I remember Lumpy's room.
Yeah.
And then when I ordered a bootleg copy off of eBay, like a VHS copy,
Oh, nice.
and I watched it and I was like, wow, it's like sometimes you think you're imagining things, but it really happened.
Right. I
But
guess
this,
that
to me,
happened.
this is really a fever dream. Like this, not like the
Yeah.
kind of funny fever dream like we talk about on Indiana Jones as Han Solo, but
Yeah.
like a real one where you get a really high fever and start hallucinating, and because it's like all your friends are there, but they're
Right.
doing weird things, like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
singing and they're crappy
God.
acrobats, and it's just weird. But
Yeah.
I think one other thing I enjoy about it is if you look at it like it's like Ionesco or it's some kind of weird surrealism or absurdism,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of amazing because everything about it is completely surreal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I mean, there are moments where it is trying to be surreal, or like it can't defend itself against being surreal. Like, yeah, like you
Mhm.
mentioned, like the weird little like circus video thing that happens or whatever. But then there's like all these like stretches of like Art Carney sort of like doing his thing and stuff that would have like killed them in Poughkeepsie or something 70
Yeah.
years earlier.
Yeah.
But you're like, and he's like selling it. He's like totally on board.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm
Yeah.
Art Carney. I'm going to do my thing. And you're like, bless his heart, but is this working at all? And is anybody like sitting in their living room in 78 going like, oh, that Art Carney's got it. Oh, Harvey Korman, you tell him. That's great.
I think I had just such an allergic reaction to this variety show.
Yeah.
Just I wondered if so growing up in the 70s and the 80s, it's like, was this what was considered like an extension of or modern day vaudeville?
Kind of. I think
Yeah,
so.
but
Like,
this
I mean,
was-
in
this
in
was
the
not a good
commercials, there are
example
like
of it.
two other
Yeah. Yeah.
variety shows advertised, like a Lucille Ball one, like a Bobby
Yeah.
Vinton one or
But
something.
those are I bet those are watchable.
Those are like, at least, I mean, we would think they were cheesy and we grown
Yeah.
at them and stuff,
Yeah,
but they're like,
yeah.
you know, people, like we wouldn't
Yeah.
probably be into Eric Estrada doing like Grease numbers and stuff,
Yeah.
but we'd be, you know, be like, okay, these people, this is what they do. They're like
Yeah.
song and dance people, and they're
Yeah.
plying their trade, and they're, you know, whatever. They know what
Yeah.
they're doing.
People
Well,
want to see
like,
a show, and it's a show.
If I'm
Yeah.
watching Hee Haw, like
Mhm.
I know what
Right.
I've signed up for.
Right.
That's what it is. Like Hee Haw is sort of a variety comedy show, or Grease or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like, all right. So that, and you're like, there's a certain level of acceptance or
Yeah.
even like self-flagellation with that. But
Yeah.
in this case, it's like it's Star Wars, but it's Hee Haw.
Right.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a
Or
good
Donnie
segue.
and Marie Haw. I don't I don't know what.
That's a good segue into how this came about then, because George Lucas had this idea. He wanted to keep Star Wars fresh in people's minds, because it was so huge, and Empire
Mhm.
Strikes Back they were going to start working on soon, and he wanted to keep it fresh, and mainly he wanted to sell merchandise, and so
Yeah.
he had this idea to do this, and none of the actors from the movie wanted to do it, but they all
Right.
felt sort of obligated, and so somehow this got made, and this was his vision, but then he quit partway through it. But-
Did he quit?
I don't know if he quit, but he left the production and
Hmm.
was unavailable, and then he disavowed it completely later. But
Yeah.
so when this first aired, viewer numbers for the first hour weren't that bad. It lost to The Love Boat, but it came in second. I think 13 million households watched it.
Love
But
Boat
by
was a
the second
juggernaut. We
hour-
can't blame anybody for that.
Yeah, but by the second hour, almost all of those people had turned it off.
Weird.
And the people were just confused because people literally thought this was going to be the next Star Wars movie. Like that's what people
Oh,
were expecting, and they
Yeah.
turn it on, and the first 25 minutes is just Wookiees going, "Rrr, rrr,"
Yeah.
and nobody knew. And even the actors, like B. Arthur, didn't know this was what this was about, and she just played her character for Maude. Like she has a quote. She said, "Let me see if I can find it here. I didn't know what this was all about. I was asked to be in it by the composer of that song I sing, Good Night But Not Goodbye. It was a wonderful time, but I had no idea it was even part of the whole Star Wars thing. I just remember singing to a bunch of people with funny heads."
Oh my God. That's basically what happens.
That's
a good
basically
description
what
of
it
that
is.
scene.
Yeah. And Carrie
Man.
Fisher only agreed to be in it because she negotiated that she would get to sing a song, perhaps.
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately.
oh, that's even
Big
weirder.
mistake.
Yeah. Even weirder than that is Mark Hamill originally had a song that he negotiated out of. He said he
Oh,
did not
nice.
want to sing a song.
Wow.
Like, I think his quote is, I thought this was a mistake from the beginning. It was just unlike anything else in the Star Wars universe. And I initially said I didn't want to do it, but George said it would help keep Star Wars in the consciousness, and I wanted to be a team player, so I did it. I
Yeah.
also said I didn't think Luke should sing, so they cut that number.
That's
Well,
awesome.
so
Thank you, Mr. Hamill.
Yeah, just to be clear, this is 18 months after Star Wars was released?
Yeah.
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 November of 78. Yeah.
And Star Ware is probably still in theaters too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it
That's
never-
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
that it's that far off the mark.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing.
Like even Mark Hamill refers to like it not being part of the Star Wars universe, and like all that is one movie so far. But
Yeah.
even he knew
Right,
they're like,
right.
this doesn't feel right.
Although technically, here's the weirdest thing: it is part of the Star Wars universe. It's officially canon.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of things we learn in this that we'll get to when we walk through it that answer some of the questions we've been asking on our Patreon shows talking about Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Does this fall?
On its face.
Yes. No. Does this fall on its face in the canon argument?
You mean that
Um,
canon has no validity because this is canon?
Which, well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, what's difficult is if this comes 18 months after Star Wars, or give or take, it's like
Uh-huh.
it's it's as close as anything ever is to Star Wars,
And
and
it was George
it's
Lucas
yes,
Mhm.
and the entire cast of Star Wars.
and there's like I don't know, maybe 25 shots from Star Wars.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first time those were on TV.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's I remember
Which is
as a
cool enough
kid,
if
that
you're a
was
kid. You're
amazing.
like,
yeah.
all right. I
Yeah,
see some Star
Oh
Wars in my
yeah,
house.
for sure.
yeah.
Which-
Although it
which-
had weird sound effects, like the Millennium Falcon sounds like thunder striking. Like the engine,
Right.
it's everything's weird.
Yeah.
It's also tough. It all kind of gets dragged through. Like seeing it's amazing, but oh my god, the
I'm
Star
just
Wars.
happy
You
it
know,
exists. It's such a weird, surreal thing.
It really is.
I mean, and as we describe it, if you haven't seen it, this is going to sound weird, and it gets weirder and weirder as it goes.
it gets
along.
weirder and weirder until it's. This is the feeling I had. Like, have you ever been in a place and all of a sudden you're struck by a thought lightning bolt, and it's I have to get the hell out of here.
Right.
Like in a real sense. I was once in Ephesus, Turkey, and I was hit by that, but I was in the back of a police car, of a Turkish police car, and it dawned on me I was alone, and all the doors were still open, like unlocked, and I was like, I've got to get the hell out of here. And I
Yeah.
raced out of the car and ran away from the scene.
There you go.
That's how this felt.
It's also
Yeah.
like if you're a kid, like have you ever had that experience where you go up to somebody who you think is your mom and it's not your mom? And you're
Yeah,
freaked out?
that's
It's sort of
exactly like it
Oh,
is.
look, it's
Yeah.
Han That's not Han Solo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I don't feel good.
yeah.
Something's not right, and I can't process it because I'm a kid. I shouldn't actually say that about Han Solo. He comes out. This is debatable. We'll get there. He comes out. Some characters come out better than others.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is super weird and disturbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's one other one who I really, really dislike, and we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
But why don't you?
Yeah,
you
let's walk through.
praise
it.
you
Let's-
for making some kind of map out of this.
Okay.
Please lead us through this, and maybe it'll make sense. Let's all hold hands and not lose our way. No splitting up. We're gonna get through this together.
So it begins in media race. Like there's no, Star Wars holiday special. It just starts with Han Solo and Chewbacca in the Falcon,
Mhm.
and they're being fired on by two really tiny looking Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
And we find out that Han is trying to get Chewie back for Life Day.
he's a good friend.
Yep. And they seem
Right.
to be in some danger.
Yeah, that's cool.
which-
Like right off the bat, you got a very familiar image of Han and Chewie and the Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
and some actual footage from Star Wars with those Star
Mhm.
Destroyers coming at him and stuff. Should be okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
All right.
I will say it starts anemic, but it's not, full blown
Right.
scourge.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I might say that some of these opening shots in the Millennium Falcon are my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Although
And-
it is weird seeing the Millennium Falcon with TV lighting.
that is weird.
That's true. True.
Yeah.
It looks
can say that's the
almost
whole
like a
thing,
soap
yeah.
opera. Which is it's just odd. But
Mhm.
they escape. Well, first they talk about how they're trying to get Chewie home for Life Day, which is the big Wookiee holiday on the planet of Kazook. And
Right.
and just as they're about to be destroyed by the Star Destroyers, they jump to light speed, and we get on the screen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then the music kicks in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as a kid, this was just like, oh my god, this is Star
Yeah.
Wars. And
In your house.
from
Yes.
that, in your
Yes.
house on a little black
Yeah.
and white TV. But from that point, it all kind of goes off the rails.
Hmm.
And we get, we get the music. There's no crawl. It starts off saying you get a title card that says the Star Wars Holiday Special, and then you get the announcer, who starts announcing the people that are in it. And you get Luke Skywalker, and he turns to face the camera, and he's wearing his flight uniform. This is kind of like a Simpsons episode, is that everybody's wearing the same outfit that they always wear.
Right.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher has the hair buns and the white dress, and Mark Hamill's wearing his flight suit, and
Yeah.
they just wear those all the time. But
And you see the way you see their faces, it almost is like the Love Boat or something.
it is,
Like,
yeah, totally.
yeah.
Featuring,
And
so
Han
they're-
Solo actually like does a Norman Fell like mug to the camera, which is awesome.
there's
Oh my
that
God.
how would you describe that voice, because you just did it so well? Featuring, it's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the Star Wars Holiday Special.
It's
Like
just-
that kind of guy. Like
it's-
it's like you're excited to be here, and this is
It's a
what you
guy
came for,
smiling
and you
kinda
know what you
guy.
get.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's almost like the the guy who introduces the Gong Show.
Yeah.
Probably the
Yeah.
same guy.
It-
Yeah. Come on down.
Oh, Chuck
Yeah.
Barris is a legend. Don't disparage.
No,
Chuck
Chuck.
Barris.
Look, Chuck Barris is one thing. He was always kind of like he was. How is it me, or was he just stupidly loaded and drunk on those shows?
He was.
That's the idea. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the magic of that show is that when it originally started running, the guy that was originally the host took it seriously, like it was a serious show, like a competition. And then Chuck Barris came in and made it like it was an ironic competition where he was just lit the whole time, and it was
he
it
just.
was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like what you
Yeah.
did on there. Come on, everybody, we got the next thing happening.
But the first weird thing is Luke turns to face the camera, and it's not Luke.
I know.
Like,
It's like
It's
like
who's this
Dorothy
guy?
Hamill or something.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I thought it looks like Nick Gilder. Do you know who I'm talking about? Tommy?
That name sounds really familiar.
Hot child in the city.
So we're between Nick Gilder and like older Cindy from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. What? So somebody, what is that?
I don't
What
He
happened?
had right before they released Star Wars. He got into a really bad car accident. He was driving his BMW in Malibu,
Right.
and he was listening to the Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, and flipped his
Oh.
car, and his face was so badly like messed up they had to reconstruct his nose like with cartilage from his ear. And so I think they had done some extensive remodeling of his face between this and when they filmed Star Wars.
Okay. Now I knew that had happened because he looks different in Empire.
Yeah, he doesn't look like
yeah.
Empire Luke or Star Wars.
No,
Right.
this is like a transition phase, and he's wearing
But-
like lipstick and
lots
weird
of
eye makeup.
eyeliner. And,
yeah.
What is this? So how would you describe his head?
Unfortunate or like disconcerting.
Or is it?
He's
I
got
mean,
that-
I don't
he's
mean
got, like,
it's
this
his
kind of
hair.
bob haircut.
There's something.
Yeah,
with, I
his
think
hair's
it's
really short.
I'm not
and-
knocking the guy that's terrible. He got in an accident, of course, and it's incredible that he, did as well as he did. If you're driving your BMW in Malibu and getting in an accident with the 1812 Overture going on, but I think it's like his hair is
His
kind of
hair is
what's odd.
bizarre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Everything
thing. If
about-
you're expecting to see Luke Skywalker, like he of the original cast is the one who's like, I don't know what this isn't what I'm expecting. This isn't something's off.
yeah.
Like everybody, no matter how they act, they look like Leia and Han and Chewie
Yeah.
and everybody.
I think this is a good idea of how this was made to sell toys. Like he gets top billing, and he was the one kids loved. Like
Yeah.
No, sure.
He's your hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we get Han Solo. And he does this little mug to the camera, and then we get a very stoned looking Carrie Fisher.
Stoned looking.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I suspect it was not looking.
Mm.
And then a very dull, matte looking C-3PO,
Yeah.
which is weird.
yeah.
And we Peter Mayhew is Chewbacca, which I'm glad it's actually Peter Mayhew.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they did a great job with the costumes for him and his family. But one thing we'll get to later is they ran out of money. I think they filmed most of it sequentially, and they ran out of money towards the end. And all the other Wookiees you see later are wearing Don Post off the shelf Wookiee costumes because they couldn't afford to make any.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's poetic.
Yeah. And then Tom, the line you remember, R2D2 is R2D2.
Cute. And he says it with like a slight pause, like,
yeah.
Get it?
Yeah.
He's a robot. There's nobody in there.
But nobody knows what happened to maybe Kenny Baker's the only one who avoided the surge.
He had the best agent.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. I don't care.
Yeah. Kenny goddamn Baker, forget it. That's what he sounds like.
And then we get some footage from Star Wars of Darth Vader, and we get James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And did he do the robot in the cartoon? Did he do Darth Vader in the cartoon, or is that somebody else?
He did. And you know what's really interesting? In the cartoon, he sounds just like Star Wars Darth Vader, but in the one scene that he's in this, like the live action that he's talking over, he sounds just like Empire Darth Vader to me. It's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
And
nerds will know what I'm talking about.
If you were expecting the next Star Wars movie, it's like getting pushed down a spiral staircase.
You know what they should have done? This is just the ways we're talking about it. Like in the whole world of like variety shows and everything, the only one that kids actually like and that's actually legit and that holds up in adulthood is the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do a Muppet Show kind of thing with the Star Wars characters?
Yeah.
And they could have had all the same bits, all the Harvey Korman, all the Art Carney and everything, but like hosted by Kermit in space or something.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty sweet. And they did, Luke and C-3PO showed up on it like around the time of Empire and stuff. And that was charming and fantastic. They could have just done something like that.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's so sincere, the whole thing.
Yeah. It's so,
weird.
It is.
Well, the interesting thing is it starts to, as you said, Pete, it was a big deal. They had just done a deal with Kenner, right? To make toys. So the whole, they just wanted to, it was just, greedy avarice,
And George Lucas had an idea. So there's a cartoon that comes up in the middle of this, which is probably the best part.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I know. Jared doesn't like it, but it's good.
But George Lucas also wanted to have a regular Saturday morning Star Wars cartoon.
Oh, wow.
And I think that might have actually worked but
yeah.
George Lucas always wanted to do things at this point, like everything had to be like an indie, like artist kind of, local producer, not a big corporation that's going to be making the cartoons. So he hired this little company in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And the look was just, I don't think anything that American kids were really expecting.
Right. I think that's why I like it, because it's just weird.
Me too. Yeah.
It's like, it's like being able to accept like the Clone Wars TV show, but not some of the movies or something. Like, it's just like, okay, it's a weird thing. It's like, doesn't look exactly like Star Wars, even though it's totally Star Wars. And I can just accept it. Like, this cartoon is just weird.
And it's our first introduction to Boba Fett.
Yeah.
No, it's our first introduction to Boba Fett Man.
Now you're getting ahead of yourself. I think the man part might be in question, but we'll get there at the cartoon.
Okay.
Oh,
It's like a suit. He's wearing like underoos.
Hey, totally
Boba Fett
is.
underoos.
Yeah, it's Bobaroos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after we get all of our friends from Star Wars announced, then it starts to get weird. So they introduced Chewbacca's family, his wife Mala, his father Itchy, and his son Lumpy.
Wait, now
Itchy is just disturbing.
Yeah.
It's like all three of them are.
In any other movie, he would be like a creature, we found the creature that we're all being terrorized by, and it's Itchy.
Mhm.
Like he's just scary looking. He's creepy and scary looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
He's
is
got that
he
underbite.
is he Mala's father?
I
think he's
assumed he was
Chewie's father.
Chewbacca's father,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I don't know. I
The
don't know if
whole
it's ever-
thing. First of all, one sentence I never want to hear is introducing Chewbacca's family.
Yeah. Why are you doing that? Don't do
Yeah,
that.
why do- yeah, I don't wanna meet them.
Chewbacca's family.
Are they here?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them I'm not here.
And is Lumpy a common name on Kazook?
See, that's what's so
God.
weird. You have Chewbacca, which,
Mhm.
like, I don't know, the only closest English word would be tobacco
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like. And then you have Lumpy and Itchy,
Yeah.
like both.
Stinky and droopy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sneezy and
Yeah.
hairy and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mala at least gets a name.
Yeah.
an
I'm
actual
glad
name.
she got a name. She may be the most mistreated person in any of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for her.
I don't.
But then it gets even weirder when we start to introduce all the special guest stars.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah.
B. Arthur, we get Art Carney, we get Diane Carroll, we
Mhm.
get Jefferson Starship,
Okay,
and we
hold,
get Harvey
hold up.
Korman.
Maybe.
Yeah, I want to know right now. Name a song that Jefferson Starship sings. Tommy?
Wait, ever as a band?
No,
Or this
ever as a
thing?
band. Just if I came up to you on the street and I go,
Jane. Late period Starship, Jefferson Starship.
wait a
they
minute,
had that
wait a
song,
minute.
Jane.
Is Jane Starship or Airplane?
No, it is Jefferson Starship.
Jane.
It's before
Okay.
Starship.
Great song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Aldo Nova ripped off. Life is just a fantasy. Can't you
Yeah.
live the fantasy life? They just totally. I don't know how that wasn't a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
how about we built this city?
Okay, but that's Starship. But see, that's the
that's-
thing. Like this, I don't recognize any of the people in this. Again, we're
Yeah.
getting ahead of ourselves. Pete
Okay,
hates us.
okay.
But yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, it's very strange.
But yeah, and most of these people are like Carol Burnett caliber, like kind of
I
later
mean,
in
literally,
their
Harvey
career.
Korman is
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 staple of that show.
And
Yeah.
Art Carney was, he was Ed Norton from The Honeymooners, which is how I will always think of him. But
Yeah.
Diane Carroll was kind of, I mean, she's a legit, actress and singer, and I mean, these people all are, but she seems like she and B. Arthur are the two that seem like they were most at the top of their game at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I bet Harvey Korman was, I like Carol Burnett show.
Yeah,
was
you're
going
right.
strong.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Actually,
But they were probably bigger names than he was. Maybe.
yeah. Although was Blazing Saddles around this time, or was that earlier?
That was earlier. Wasn't that more like 73 or 4 or something?
Maybe.
Yeah. We're getting yelled at.
Yeah, then he introduces the animated special that's coming up, and then we cut to Kazook.
Yeah. Suburban Kazook.
Yeah, and I have to
Yeah.
say this house I love. I would live.
Wait,
in
is
this
that
house.
That's
how
awesome.
it's wait, how is it pronounced?
it's, it's Kashyyyk. And
Right.
for some reason, the one time you hear it in this, the guy says Kazook.
Kazook?
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
It's their choice.
the house is beautiful, and it is interesting that this is. You look at it and you go, "Oh, it looks like the Green Moon of Endor."
Yeah, it
Which, if
does,
this
yeah.
is 78, you're like,
Yeah.
"Wow!" So there's a lot of things that were kind of floating around in the, conscious there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
There was one
of-
thing. There was one major problem with this house, though, is that if you are a family of like furry, shaggy creatures, why in the name of God would you have carpeting in your house? Like everything is covered in carpeting.
Oh man, I
You're
didn't
like,
think
it
about that.
stinks in here, and I'm not
Yeah.
even there.
Well, you got itchy and lumpy. Yeah, I mean, it stinks.
They just get itchy and lumpy in here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like their
Well, one of the
cousin
problems-
Burpee comes over.
Wipey.
Yeah.
and sticky. and-
Oh, wipey.
That's why people used to have like the plastic covers on their furniture, like
Yeah.
in a nice room.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh. Cousin Wipey. Oh my God.
But
Well,
see,
Pete.
one of the issues here though is that this gorgeous house they spent almost all of the money on this set, and
it shows.
it weirdly
yeah.
didn't even have a fourth wall. Like it was for like a fourth wall for the camera and for lighting. It was a full wraparound 360-degree set, and so they had to spend a lot of extra money to get the lighting in and the camera. Find places for the cameras and stuff. So they spent a huge part of their budget on this.
I'm not
Man.
surprised because that house is gorgeous. I mean, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a bit of a like Taliesin or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
Frank
Totally.
Lloyd Wright meets the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Meets
Yeah.
like an
The
Ewoks.
the Keebler elves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's round.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a circular shape.
I wonder where that was. It is. It's gorgeous. And
Yeah.
the colors are really interesting and bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody went. I wonder if their house would be considered bold.
Oh,
yeah,
Are all the houses around there like that? or
yeah.
is
Is this like track housing
oh,
for
the
them?
Chewbacca's are doing pretty well for themselves.
Is it just like cul-de-sacs?
Yeah.
Right.
I wondered about that. Like, does Chewie have a nice house? Like, is he?
I was
live-
wondering that too. Is he rich?
Yeah,
They seem pretty comfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
they got like crazy video monitors, and she's
Yeah.
got all the kitchen stuff and everything. And
Yeah.
he has like a
know,
big stuffed
mind
bantha.
evaporators. Yeah,
Yeah.
big stuffed panther. Yeah, he's got his own room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I wonder where like Mala and Itchy and Chewie sleep, because when they search the
I
house,
don't want to know.
they only search the living room and Lumpy's room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's disturbing.
Yeah.
Chewie just sleeps on the couch. Mala doesn't sleep; she's too busy.
Yeah, she's working the whole time.
Can't even get any help with the trash. It takes 3 minutes of the opening of this show for Lumpy to take out the trash.
Yeah.
There's like 3 minutes of Wookiees barking at each other to get out the trash.
so that.
Oh,
go ahead.
Drew.
Well,
The first whole 20 minutes of this is I'd love to hear Sean German's take on this with his 5 minutes of mime podcast, because it's like the first 20 minutes is just these three Wookiees making Wookiee noises that are unintelligible to anybody and miming actions that are not really that funny or entertaining.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's literally like, do your chores. No, I don't want to do my chores. No,
Yeah.
just do it. I need help in the kitchen. Take out the trash. I don't want to. I'm a bratty kid.
Yeah.
And leave me alone, kid. I'm playing with my X-Wing fighter. Well, don't sneak up on me. It's like you left a camera on in somebody's house and they're just kind of going about their boring business.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it.
and you
Yeah.
have to
No
watch it,
sound.
and you can't. It's unintelligible. Or
Yeah.
and
And
Yeah.
you're waiting for something cool in Star Wars to happen, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
You're
So,
like,
I'm wondering, what is the artistic thought behind this?
This was all George Lucas too, because the people making this like they said, this isn't going to work, and it did. I mean, obviously it didn't work. And everybody turned it off after they saw this part, but George Lucas said this was what he wanted to make.
So
Oh,
is it like I'm going to draw them in? They're expecting to hear English,
I think so. Yeah.
but I'm not going to give the people what they want.
Yeah. There were a couple of times in the version I was watching, there's a couple of times where it's like, oh, finally there's some subtitles, and it's like, oh, it just says like WHIO
Yeah.
channel 7 Dayton. They can't all be just saying that over and over again at weird intervals. Oh well.
It's
Yeah.
just you're expecting there to be a big payoff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our first thing that seems like it might be a payoff is Lumpy turns on this computer console, which is sort of like the Hollow Chess game on the Millennium Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
but it's some acrobats, like some. I'm not sure how to describe these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. They're dressed up funny
Yeah.
and they do weird stuff. I'll be honest, I fast forwarded. It was the first time I fast forwarded a little bit.
Wow.
Like, what am I going to miss? What am I actually
Yeah.
going to miss if I fast forward a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I actually sat through this one,
Oh my God. I'm
and
sorry.
after I did that, there's a lot of other things I fast forwarded through.
You're right.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Yeah.
So
So
is Chewbacca a lousy dad? Like it seems like he's never home. Like Mala's the bad guy always. Like her kid's just
Mhm.
constantly complaining and doesn't want to do stuff, and she's always yelling at him. And then Chewie comes home and he's like, "Oh, presents. He's the great guy."
Yeah. Yeah. He's that dad. Yeah,
He's like off having fun with his friend, and
yeah, I got you this at the airport. You're a good kid. Give me a drink.
yeah, and the kid worships him.
Yeah.
you know what I can't figure out is if Chewbacca is doing so well He seems to be, comfortable. Why doesn't he just loan Han Solo the money to get the bounty off of his head?
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
the co-pilot of the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon and his best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, why
I
doesn't he
don't-
just, because he says in Star Wars, 17,000, this could really save my, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, why doesn't he just loan him
Yeah.
the money?
What if this is the first time Han's ever been to his house, and then she's kind of like, "What the hell is going on,
Yeah.
Wookiee?"
But I
Wait a
wonder,
minute.
maybe Chewie is actually smuggling,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
like he's
I
stealing.
thought we dumped that load of spice. Do you mean to tell me that you just pocketed it and sold it to somebody?
He's actually pirating from the pirate. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, hopefully Art Carney took it.
What the hell? They talk to a traitor? I'm supposed to believe that there's a guy who's a traitor, and that's who Mala calls?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Before we get to the trader, we get and that's Trader because they keep
Yeah.
saying it in the show and it sounds like traitor, but
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
it's
a friend of
like
the
a-
Alliance.
trades things. But before we get that, we get Mala goes over to they have a hidden communication like TV thing. Like basically this whole special is Zoom calls. It's kind of 2020.
Right. Yeah.
But they pull up the screen and they call Luke
hmm
and it's weird.
But they get Dorothy Hamill instead of Mark.
Yeah. And Nick killed her.
How does Luke know him? Like, how does Luke know Chewbacca's? How do they all know Chewbacca's family?
I guess maybe you get the sense that they have all met since Star Wars. Like,
Yeah,
this could
like
be
you
2
feel like they've all been
years after
hanging
Star
out.
Wars
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they all know as soon as she gets on the screen, they're all like, "Oh, hi, Mala. Can you send
Yeah.
Can you send Chewie to the screen?"
Hey, Itchy. Hey, Lumpy. Yeah.
Or maybe they came to the medal ceremony
I thought
where
about that.
Chewie didn't get the medal.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they came to.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I thought about that.
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
3 seats reserved for them, way in the back.
Yeah, and then Mala explains that there's a problem because Han and Chewie haven't shown up for Life Day, and Luke is there with R2 fixing an engine, and he is a terrible comforter.
Yeah.
You see him thinking, and he's talking out loud. He's like, "Oh boy, well, I
Oh,
can
no.
tell you is that he and Han left here on schedule. If he's not there now, they're way overdue. They're
Yeah.
in trouble."
But it's cool.
Yeah,
Don't
they
Give me
worry.
a smile.
Oh, that's so creepy. Is he
Yeah.
like he tells her to smile?
Yeah. Don't patronize me, Luke.
I know all of them are really, really strange. It's like
Yeah,
the Wookiees are like the family dog.
no, they totally are.
Yeah.
Right. It's a
Like they all
family of
talk
family
down to them,
dogs.
like completely talk down to them.
Or they're just
Yeah.
they're patronizing. It's
Yeah, and
It's-
later,
it's-
like Leia will refer to Chewbacca as her leader. Like it's weird.
oh, it's true.
That really is weird. I don't get it. It is weird that the plot of this show is like, let's kill time until Chewbacca gets home.
Yeah,
Like that's the excuse for like everything that
Yeah.
happens.
yeah.
Ugh.
But then we cut to or we go to with Luke hangs up after R2 like blows up the engine he's working on.
Yeah, he keeps blaming R2. He's like, you're supposed
Yeah.
to be watching that. And it's like, he was watching that. He was he's
He's
you
trying to-
know about it because he alerted you.
Yeah, he keeps trying to tell Luke that the engine's about to explode, and Luke keeps
Yeah.
chewing him. And then at the end, he's like, "It's all right, R2. Nobody's perfect."
Thanks.
But that thought I wondered about that. I'm
You
like,
yelled at me.
aren't droids perfect?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
They are
Yeah.
machines.
Yeah, I mean maybe not
They
perfect,
run on
but
math.
if
Yeah.
they're not perfect, then it's more like a malfunction or a chip or something like
Right.
that.
It would be they would be
Yeah.
more accurate than a human working on it.
And if
Yeah.
if it's chips and humans made the chip and the chip malfunctions, then it's still the
Yeah.
human's fault.
yeah,
It's on you, Luke.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the one who fixed me yesterday.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, then from there, Mala and Itchy are really upset, and they go over to their main big TV screen, and they use what seems like a dial-up modem, and they immediately are connected to like a spy cam of this guy's like this guy's
Yeah.
shop,
Yeah.
Sondon, who's Art Carney.
Yeah, the Zoom is doing a slow pan of the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, and a lot of it's a very voyeuristic show. Like a lot of it is them watching other people do stuff.
Or everybody
on
watching
video.
everybody doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
You
everybody's
should just call it
watching.
the Star Wars Nanny Cam special.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This guy is very disturbing. This Imperial guy.
Yeah.
Who, for one thing, is like, I think he's wearing that helmet wrong. He's got it way back on his head.
It's like
You
it's
can see his big-
backwards or something.
Yeah, it is.
It's so bad.
And it's clearly not like he's got this sinister voice like this, and he's just like some dork with a mustache, and he's
Yeah.
like, you know, like he's not saying anything, but this voice keeps coming from him. It's
Yeah.
really, really awkward.
Yeah. And Art Carney keeps trying to sell him stuff. He's like the good old timey like general store owner.
But so
Yeah.
why did Mala how did she contact Art Carney?
I think she called his shop. Like I think she's.
But why
calling
would she
his-
call his shop?
It seems like he's somehow knows what's up with.
Well,
Han
because
and
he's
Chewie,
part
or
of
knows-
the so he's like he's her point person.
Yeah,
Like
he's
when
like
I
maybe
can't
the alliance,
find
the
my
rebel guy on the
husband.
planet.
Yeah. Maybe Chewie and Art Carney go out drinking all the time, so she's
Yeah.
checking to see.
I think it's something else that we'll get to later, but I think it's more.
Oh my god!
I think it's Art Carney and Mala going out drinking.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
you know, Chewie hasn't made it back yet. You might
Yeah.
have some time to wookie wookie.
You know, it could be create another life day.
Yeah, so Art Carney tries to sell this guy with the bad hat a little pocket-sized aquarium.
hmm Whimsy.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
I kind of like Kenner doesn't sell that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this benefiting?
Yeah.
Not the audience.
But it's very obviously like one of those. It's like one of those little aquariums you would get as a kid, you know, in the 70s. It would be like you'd press a little button on the side and bubbles would blow in it, and the fish would move around.
Right.
Yeah.
It like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a
Those things
you
are
know
cool.
99-cent little thing.
Yeah.
And the guy
But
says
no,
he
it's-
hates fish. And I was wondering if Marcus is referencing this in Last Crusade.
Maybe. But this scene goes on for about an hour
Yeah.
with like him like trying to sell him on some like trimming thing or something,
He
like
did,
hair
yeah,
trimmer thing, and
Yeah. What does he call it? I can't remember. A groomer.
I don't know.
A groomer.
Yeah, a groomer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like, and he's. I don't like who's the audience for. Like who's sitting there appreciating this? Who's having a great time?
that-
It's humor's all for like 80-year-olds.
I guess it kind of is. That's the thing. Like people who would just be satisfied seeing their old buddy Art Carney.
Yes.
from the
See, that's
Honeymooners.
why I
Yeah.
led with TV sucked. Back then, because I was coming away with this like who is appreciating this or how
Mhm.
who's the audience, not even who's appreciating. I feel like if you appreciate
Yeah.
it, it'd almost be like I don't know, incidental or something.
Right.
Like you're
Yeah.
like, who is this made for?
Yeah.
And I'm
The
not talking.
producers are like, damn it, that vaudeville audience hasn't died yet. That generation is still around. I guess we have to still make TV for
I
them.
think
But
they're trying to
even
make it for
that,
the whole family. Like it's for grandpa. It's like for Mala, Itchy, and
Right.
Lumpy. It's like grandpa, mom, and the kid.
But then I think kids are like sitting and watching TV with their grandparents or something, and they're used to like I was used to this stuff. Like I didn't
Yeah, I
want
was
to watch
too.
Donnie and Marie, but I was like, okay, I guess this is what
Yeah.
TV is. I guess I'll watch
Oh,
this.
here's Lawrence Welk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch Lawrence Welk. That's what TV does to me. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
didn't
I
know any
think
better.
back in the day, you could just do whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
They didn't know
It
anybody
did.
was
Yeah, it
watching.
could be incoherent.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be
Yeah.
funny as long as there was like a camera.
But Art Carney is a genuinely funny guy. Like on the Honeymooners,
is.
Sure.
Ed Norton is one of the funniest guys on TV.
Oh, sure.
And hadn't he just made like Harry and Tonto like a year before this or something?
Oh,
Or-
I don't know.
He's like a legit good, like just
Yeah.
not comedic actor, but just a good actor. And he's like totally solid. Like everybody on the show is. Like B.
Yeah.
Arthur,
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, Harvey Corbett, they're all like talented people and they're all kind of doing what they're good at.
Yeah.
But you're like, why are you doing it here?
Well,
Like,
that's what
what's happening?
that's the B. Arthur thing. Is she didn't know that this was Star Wars. She didn't know what her motivation was supposed to be. So she
Right.
just played Maud, like her character Maud from her
Right.
hit show Maud.
Yeah.
But
Man.
I think they're just a lot of these people. This wasn't their. I mean, Star Wars wasn't their generation. It wasn't their movie. I think
Right.
they just played it the way they would play anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You see that a lot. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully it works. I hope somebody's enjoying this.
So yeah, the guy with the bad hat, the Imperial Guard, steals the groomer, and I actually kind of like one thing I like about Art Carney. This has a little bit of a people are going to shriek when I say this, but a little bit of a Casablanca feel. He's kind of got it's kind of this bittersweet, like quiet desperation that he's in this far away world, and he's trying to he got a living. He's just waiting, while war is raging around him, and he's just kind of this quiet, pathetic, tragic figure.
Right.
The guy
That's
steals
not
his
far
thing,
off.
and then he it's kind of a nice little moment, when he's like, "Oh, good, you're gonna take it. I was embarrassed to offer it to you." He's trying to save
Right.
his own dignity. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. I'll defend you if people make fun of you for making that connection. That works.
And then we're back to Star Destroyers on the screen, and is this a clip from it's a clip from Star Wars, right? Or like a deleted
I think
clip?
it's an unused clip from Star Wars. I think it's an outtake of him and the guy walking down the hall.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that blew my mind.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's
that
like, oh, it's some extra Star
I
Wars.
can't. That
Yeah.
blew my mind. I had never
Yeah.
seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Imperial officers telling Vader they ordered a blockade of Kazook, and they are. He doesn't call it Kazook yet, and Vader says he wants the rebels located and identified, and he says if it means searching every household in the system.
Even those Wookiee ones.
Yep.
It was amazing. They're clearly on the Death Star, but all the kids are like, "Oh wait, the Death Star blew up, so I guess they're on a Star Destroyer." All right.
Yeah, that's totally true.
That's hilarious.
And then we get our first two commercials.
Yeah.
I love the first one. I think like I would go out and buy a GM car because of this commercial.
Right. I guess this whole thing was sponsored by GM, right? They said
Yeah,
at the top.
yeah, there are a few of their and we get this guy Willie Rawls talking about how proud he is to be working at GM, and it's cool. Like he's talking about how great the quality is there, and because they put their heart and soul into it, and it seems like he's literally like he's genuinely speaking from the heart. Like this seems like it's not an actor pretending to play a guy. Like this is a guy that's proud of what he's doing at the factory.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him like in the locker room, like getting dressed after work, and he's got this sweet outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that commercial too. Actually,
There are a lot of commercials during this thing that are just sort of like pictures of life in the 70s, which I get a lot of commercials are, I guess, but it's nice. It's like, that's what life looked like.
Yeah.
That's what people look like.
But they're so much more earnest than commercials are today. Like they're
for sure.
just like real people saying like, buy my product. I think this is really good.
And there's like a lot of like just bald manipulation too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That like wouldn't be a little more subtle today,
Yeah.
but back then it's kind of like, this will work.
Yeah.
This will get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug at their Patriot strings. Yeah.
You want panties in your pantyhose? This is the place to go.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. You want a bald eagle in your underwear? You got it.
That one's incredible. Oh, it's just
really amazing.
ridiculous.
We'll get
there.
I love this General Motors slogan though. People building transportation to serve people.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, is that even clever or zippy?
I
or
couldn't
is
tell.
that a message of some sort?
It's a little. It's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
It's like a company that makes cars that people can drive. General Motors. People building transportation to serve people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
I
how
was
the
wondering
works,
is
I suppose.
why didn't they say people, like cut out the, like if you're an editor, maybe cut out the little preposition, like the preposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just building transportation to serve
Yeah.
people.
Or building
people-
transportation for people. or not
transportation
to
to
serve people.
Yeah. It's a cookbook.
Well, then we get our next ad, which is this is something that as a kid my neighbor had. It's Kinner's new trail tracker.
Oh, I was gonna ask. I'd never seen this before.
Oh, really?
This is the world's most exciting toy for about a minute and 30 seconds.
Most toys are like
And then it is
Yeah.
the dumbest thing in the world. So it's
Yeah.
it's like a little truck, and you have a plastic mat, and you draw a line on the mat, and the truck will follow the line that you draw with the crayon.
See, now
Yeah,
I wanted to
the
know
end.
what was
Yeah, the
magic
end.
about the crayon. Was it like barium in it? Or
Probably.
like mercury?
Train tracks.
Yeah.
I figured it must be something toxic. There's no
I'm
way
sure,
that the
yeah.
truck knows. And it's really interesting coming after a GM commercial.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, how hard could baking cars be?
All you got to
Use
do
crayons and a
is
blanket pad?
just draw where you want it to go.
Right. Beep, beep.
No, what I wanted to know how it did work. Was there something it could
I feel
read
like
the
there have been a lot of
crayon?
versions of that over the years. I think I want to say yeah, but then I'm like, wait, it's 1978. Did they really have stuff
It
that
did
could do that back then?
Come with 4 crayons. Like there had to be something special about them.
Yeah.
Like it's magnetic or
Yeah.
something? I don't know.
Or there's there's something toxic.
So
Yeah.
you would so I'm imagining trying to have fun and you start drawing some curly cues and it's pretty good and some curves
Yeah.
and then it does it and then the next kid's like my turn and then some
Yeah.
smart ass does like a big, spiral all the way down to like a singularity. And you're like, what
Thing
is
collapses on itself.
Yeah. You get like a small black hole. I just wonder what, like at that point, how would it just stop? Would the truck just
I
stop?
think so.
Well, they have it in the commercial. There's a part where they've got 2 forking lines and they don't show what it does.
I think you see it mess up actually. It looks like it's following the red line and then it meets a blue line and then goes to the blue line a little bit. You're like, was it supposed to do that? All right.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it was very accurate.
Yeah.
But then we get to we're back at the
The
Baca
show's
family.
back on.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we get a very long and lovingly filmed scene of Mala in the kitchen. First, she and Lumpy are doing dishes, and then she decides to turn on the TV, and we get Harvey Korman as Chef Gourmanda.
Mhm.
Right. Which right there, is a problem. Because it's not Harvey Korman's fault. He's great.
No.
But it's Chef Gourmanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean
Get it?
the alien Gourmanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Lumpy.
everything in this
Sure.
references something from Star Wars, which is it's why it feels like a Simpsons episode to me. It's like that's their
Right.
only references. So they're making bantha surprise,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
made out of the most tender part of the bantha, the loin.
She eats some raw bantha loin too.
Yeah.
In this, she like nibbles on it.
That's the
That's
kind.
gross.
Yep.
Yeah, this does go on for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like she's got multiple arms. Like that's the gag that they take about an hour to get to.
Yeah.
And then she's got all these arms to help her with the cooking.
Which
Yep.
I'll concede, like Gourmanda, is clever.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's like is the funny part the fact that she going like stir, whip,
Yeah.
stir,
Yeah.
whip, stir, stir,
and
whip,
Mala
whip,
can't
stir,
keep
whip,
up. It's
whip.
too complicated.
Yeah.
And it's
Mala
like-
only has 2 arms.
And
She
so
can't
is this like
keep up.
this is the bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's not as clear in the I think in the show as it is in the script, because I think Mala gets really frustrated and just kind of puts the food down on the floor. But I don't know if
she does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So
like,
is this supposed to be like? First of all, is this like Thanksgiving dinner and this is Julia Child?
I think
Yeah.
it's totally Julia Child.
Yeah.
yeah. Which makes you think, like, was that even a good show? Like that, a lot of people probably had exactly this problem with it. Like,
Yeah.
wait, hold on, slow down.
Yeah.
It's the 70s. I can't pause or anything. Stop.
I mean, maybe this was funny in 1978. Like maybe if you watched Julia
Maybe.
Child to try to cook and you could never do it, maybe this was like, oh,
Is all of this just not funny because there had never been like The Simpsons yet or Mr.
Yeah.
Show or like, people hadn't gotten into Monty Python yet or something?
I
Like,
just
people
feel
didn't
that's
know
what I'm
comedy
saying. I
was?
just feel like it feels like okay, you could play Xbox Call of Duty or you could play
Right.
marbles.
Yeah. Or you can play Atari Pac-Man. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
and that's where it got me thinking. Like, did people just consume anything at all because the other option was swinging on a tire from a tree?
Yes.
So,
Well, you were
Yeah.
alive. That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly. Yeah, I guess
you had
that's
What's
three channels
nuts,
on
though?
the TV.
in one of the commercial breaks, we get an amazing ad break about what's on that next night. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the spectrum of
Yeah.
the TV experience, a lot
Yeah.
of which was brilliant,
Yeah.
and a lot of which is horrible. But we'll
Yeah.
get there. So there was good TV to watch.
Yeah.
It was actually good TV that I would watch today. But yeah, there's a lot of just
Yeah.
there's pretty colors on the screen. I think I recognize that guy.
yeah. Oh, he's got a sailor hat on.
He didn't have that last time.
And we all ate it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
nuts.
Oh, we didn't have a choice. Like that was that, or yeah, like do something constructive, and no one wants to do something constructive when
No.
you're 5.
Read a book.
So then we were back to TIE fighters attacking the Falcon.
Yeah. Gets more Star Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and then so Han actually says something about doesn't he mentions the remote cannon.
Yeah. When I first was
Yeah.
watching this, I was like, how are they shooting the turret?
Yeah. And then he
Right.
mentions the remote cannon.
That he has to go back there and do it.
Yeah, because the remote cannon broke. And
Oh,
he
okay.
blames Chewie, doesn't he? Doesn't he like kind of
Maybe. Yeah. He does yell at him. He yells at
Yeah.
him a lot in this.
Yeah,
Although he's
I
also
don't like how he
tender.
treats Chewie in this. Like he definitely treats him like a pet.
Yeah. Or like a underling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It is weird. Like I feel horrible watching Harrison Ford in this. I just feel bad for him. It's like, oh my God, he's like you can feel his clenched fist under the console. Like, just
Uh-huh.
get me through this. I'm under contract or something. I got to do this. But he does kind of come across to me as actual Han Solo.
He does. I think
Yeah.
he put the most into this as an actual, like, I'm going to act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to use my skills as an actor to get through this and to say these lines and to
Yeah.
express emotion.
Yeah. Because everybody else is so like, hi, Mala, how are you? But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
he's
It's
kind
rough.
of, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a sincere, like you didn't get this part of his and Chewie's relationship in the movie, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. They're buddies. Like they really care about each other.
Yeah.
They, it's not all just being hotshots in front of the new guys.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Although then he says, why do I always think that taking you home for Life Day is going to be easy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard line for me. Like I feel like he's like he's berating his friend for wanting to be home with his family for the holidays, and he's
Right.
It's
And can
weird.
I
Like
can
Chewie
I,
could just be like, why did I hitch a ride with you? Why don't I
Yeah.
take a bus next time?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just
bum.
thinking, does Chewbacca not own a vehicle?
Right.
Or does he own the Falcon and Han just
Yeah.
kind of took over?
I mean,
my
I
turn
really
yet?
am thinking about. He's like, why does Han? He's the co-pilot,
yeah.
Yeah.
meaning he can. I mean, can he not fly it?
No, we know he can fly
He
it.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So why does Han have to take him home? He's a grown ass man with a wife and
Yeah.
a kid. He he
Right, a
lives
dad.
in in Taliesin of Kazook.
Yep.
Who
And
knows?
then we cut back to we're back in the house, and we get like an emergency announcement on the TV that says that
yeah.
martial law has been declared and a
Mhm.
blockade has been set up around Kazook. This is where he says Kazook.
The Kazook planet.
Yeah, due to suspected rebel activity on the Kazook planet.
So who?
Um,
Wait, now why? Okay, what is the suspected rebel activity? If Han and Chewie are not on Kazook, I
Mhm.
understand they're flying there, but they're not there.
Yeah. I don't know.
What is the?
I mean, it
what's
could be
the-
like Art Carney. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I'm wondering.
Maybe Art Carney
Yeah.
knows where Chewbacca is because there's been communication or something, and that's suspicious to the Empire or something.
You know,
Yeah.
Art Carney says a really weird line. He says something. I'm paraphrasing, but like he's like, "I'm a fan of the rebellion and part of the Rebel Alliance."
Oh yeah, member.
Oh,
He's like
yeah.
he's like a member of the friend of the rebellion and member of the alliance or something like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like two. It's like wait, are those two different?
Yeah, are those two
Yeah.
different
Wait a
things?
minute.
Is there like it? What like?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess if you're like a member of it, then you're a card carrying member of the Rebel Alliance. And then I even
Or is like the Alliance part of the rebellion or vice versa?
Yeah,
Or something?
or
Like,
is-
are they
could
you-
could you be
subsets?
part of the rebellion but not be part of the Rebel Alliance? I guess you're
Right.
just like those people who are down
Oh, that's
below who
good,
are
yeah.
clapping when, like, the
Yeah.
Death Star blows up. You're not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe since the Death Star blew up, like that's the first time the rebels have had some sort of like political legitimacy or something, and now people are behind them, and maybe they're not like taking up arms, but they support them, and
Or
that's the
maybe
alliance
they're
or something.
other people who are rebelling against the Empire who want to have a different kind of government. In the
Oh,
Rebel
yeah.
Alliance.
Oh,
those-
interesting.
That's
Or he-
Sackville Rebellion.
He could just also have an old timey way of talking because he also says "make yourself to home" a couple times, which I love.
Yeah,
Yeah, he shows up right now.
yeah.
He knocks on the
With
door
gifts.
and comes in with some gifts. One of which is probably the most disturbing part of this whole holiday special.
Yeah. No, we could skip it. You want to skip it?
Tommy, you know what we said when we in those early when we first started out with Raiders, when we said
Uh-huh.
no, we're going to talk about things.
Right,
As we
that's
said,
true.
whatever the
Yeah,
that is
directors
true.
and the writers give us, with the exception
Yeah.
of the Area 51 and the Ark and Crystal Skull,
we're
that
talking
gets
about.
a pass. But everything else we said,
what?
nope, they gave it to us, so we should discuss it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
So we are
we'll-
going to discuss Art Carney
we'll
setting
start
up
easy
Itchy
first.
Pornhub.
Okay, okay.
He gives Lumpy a box. We don't know what it is, and Lumpy runs upstairs with it. And then he has something for Mala, and he makes her kiss him before
Yeah.
he gives it to her. which
Yeah.
is
Give me some
a bit
sugar.
Creepy. But then, he gives Art Carney, or he gives Itchy, Chewie's dad, basically a porn videotape.
Yeah. And like it's porn because he's like, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
in his hand by
It's like, wow. Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, and he says Happy Life Day, and I do mean Happy Life Day.
Good gravy.
Who is?
Here's
So
to help
this
you. It's that scratch that itch, Itchy.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Check that lumpy. So what
Yeah.
you wonder, you're like, so is this during the program, is this where the 9-year-old turns to his father
Yeah.
in real life and looks at him and he's like, oh
it
my
says-
God.
Is this like when I stuck a fork in the back of the cable box?
Who is the audience for this? Who are they trying to like
don't know.
we all
Yeah,
like basically send Mala to the kitchen, like
Mhm.
send the
Yeah.
kid upstairs with a distraction, some marbles, whatever.
Why not send the kids in the audience to their room, for God's sake?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
parents, this next part is
Has-
saucy.
Has there ever been another time in television history on a children's show where they had a large segment devoted to an old man watching porn and another old man telling him how great it was going to be, other than the that one on on Different Strokes?
Oh, God. There was that one Captain Kangaroo that went way off the rails.
It was Captain POV. I remember it. Yeah. No, there's
Let's think about Mr. Green Jeans jokes that we can make on the show that we don't have to bleep,
Yeah.
but they get the point across.
But what? So,
I don't
and
know.
what's really interesting is you're like, really, I'm not letting this go. So,
Right.
like Itchy's watching this, and it's Vavoom.
We should say what he's watching.
Yeah, we
because
should say
people
what
are
he's
like,
watching.
People are. It's not literally porn, but he's like he's
Well-
settled into this like lounge chair thing.
It's
Uh-huh.
virtual
With it's like
reality,
some
right?
virtual reality hypnosis thing or
Yeah.
whatever.
And it's Diane
And the-
Carroll.
Diane
wearing
Carroll,
like a space wig.
Yeah.
yeah, alluringly dressed, singing some swan song.
Well,
twerk
she
song.
starts off and she says, "I am found in
She's
your eyes only. I exist for you alone.
Yes.
I am in your
Oh, boy.
mind as you create me. Oh, yes, I can feel my creation." She said,
It's amazing.
I'm getting your message.
It's
Are you getting
amazing.
mine? And then she says, oh, we are excited, aren't we?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
damn, really?
It's like even if the little kids don't pick up on this, there are adults in the room being like,
Yeah.
turn it off.
Turn it off.
Fast forwarding. Yeah.
There was no fast forwarding in
I
1978.
know. They're like, wait a minute. TV, get me out of this.
No, and she keeps going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Good
getting your
Lord.
message. Are you getting mine? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy. And she's like, just relax. Yes, just a little more. And she says it all in like this really like breathy, like
No,
Yeah.
it's,
whisper
it's
voice.
fantastic if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then she said she's before she sings her song, she's like, now can we have a good time? She says, oh, now
Man,
we can have a good
Shevitz.
time, can't we?
That's
And
incredible.
they keep cutting back to Itchy, and he's so disturbing.
He's
looking.
so disturbing. Like, oh, he's got like, oh,
And the
yeah,
whole
he's-
time he's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah,
No, I know he's got like this stalactite of drool from the top of his
Yeah.
mouth down to his, his gnarled, matted chest fur. It's
Oh,
just,
And then she tells him
Oh.
she finds him adorable, and he keeps rewinding that part.
yeah.
She keeps.
Oh my
So
god.
what is? It's incredible. It's, you know what it is? It's like the beginning of a James Bond movie.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like the opening credits of a James
Yeah.
Bond.
Yes,
movie.
it is,
So it is
yeah.
like from like 1983 or something.
Yeah.
yeah. Which is kind of cool and
The song's a
vibey.
good song.
The song's
yeah.
fun, and yet she's killing it.
Yeah.
But you're like, what is going on? And so is this? You're like, is this the sort of thing? You're like, we don't know where Chewbacca's mother is, right? So is this the sort of thing that is to assuage that part of a widower's, I guess, life? I mean, is that
I
what
don't
they're
know.
kind of doing here?
Or do we know that Chewbacca's not half human?
Oh, weird. Wait a minute. What?
Itchy seems to have a human fetish.
Yeah,
true,
that's
yeah.
totally true.
That is weird.
I don't know.
And also, just you're
The
like,
Diane Carroll's beauty just transcends, species divides and everything.
I-
It just,
sure,
like,
maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah.
I could see
Okay.
that. But you're like, where's Chewbacca's mom? And is this the gift? I mean, if she's dead or not there, maybe they're divorced. Who knows? Maybe he has an addiction to this thing, to
Yeah.
Diane Carroll, and
God.
she just left the tree one day.
I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, but how did Art Carney know like what kind of porn like Itchy likes? Like did they talk
Yeah.
about this?
What was that first conversation like?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who approached who? Isn't she like, and Art Carney's like, I hear you loud and clear, pal. Next
I
time
bet
I
it's
come
one of
over,
those
I'll
shops.
hook you up.
It's like a Spencer's Gifts. There's like a secret section in the back where you can like walk in the back and it's
Yeah.
like all the porn.
But they
and all
don't.
that.
Has to
They're
be in
not
person.
hiding it. That's what's weird. They're not
Yeah.
like.
He's in the middle of the living room. He's like in the chair in the living room.
And it's kind of, there's this
Mom,
genuine.
I gotta finish my homework. I left it in the living room. Just 5 more minutes. Just wait.
It's like there's just this acceptance is that this is what fathers or I guess older gentlemen do, or older widowers.
God,
I don't know what this is what grandfathers do.
this is so sad.
And there's nothing. It's fine. Enjoy yourself, whatever. But it's in the
it's
middle
all
of
he
the
is
living
enjoying
room.
himself.
On
Literally.
I got
Yeah.
nothing against whatever time you need.
Right.
You're not hurting
There's no shame
anybody.
involved.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
not in
but
my
just
face.
not on,
Yeah.
not in the middle, like under the Christmas tree. That's all.
Where have these Life Day orbs
On
been?
top of the cranberry sauce.
Oh my God.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Could you mash your potatoes somewhere else that you crying out loud?
So thankfully we cut now to Princess Leia.
Wait. Last
Yeah.
thing. Last thing.
Yeah.
Last thing. I was gonna say one of the things that drives me nuts is that I hate about this is I hate when the talk is arousing, but then nothing happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That actually, I kind
Jared
of
wants his money back.
yeah. I just and I kind of like let's
That
either
wasn't
just
a happy life day.
yeah. I'm kind
Yeah,
of like
wait a
let's
minute.
just either do a song and that's fine. We can enjoy the song because we like music, and the song could even be, as you said, like Tommy, a torch song or a ballad or
Yeah.
something. You go, sure,
Mhm.
that's awesome. Or if you want to have some, good old salacious times by yourself, then it's like then that is fine. But what's strange about this is it's all like I can feel your
Yeah.
excitement. But then it's just
Which I'm now going to ignore.
yeah,
For
exactly.
3 minutes.
Actually, it's funny now that when you say that line, that sort of cheapens Darth Vader talking about "I can feel the power." Like, is that just something everybody says in the Star Wars
Oh,
universe?
sure. Maybe she's like a force sensitive,
Yeah.
Yeah,
woman of the night.
yeah.
Darth Vader's good with the neck, and Diane Carroll's
Yeah.
good with the other parts.
Even lower down.
All right.
Oh.
And you know what made this even more disturbing for me is the song was totally giving me PTSD about Crystal Skull, because this song is all this minute now, this minute now, this
God.
minute now, this minute
Yeah.
now.
When are you going to finish it? What are you guys doing? Why are you talking about Star Wars? Yeah, like all the lyrics are just.
I think the name of the song is "This Minute." Actually, it's all just
Wow.